be honest, childcare is not child's play. Serious.
Wow. Hi, thank you so much for doing on my channel and on my page. A lot of people have been asking me about childcare, pregnancy, and motherhood, and I don't have any experience because I'm not even pregnant. I don't even have a child. So I decided to invite someone who is like a guru in the field. She is a mother. She's amazing. She's awesome, and she's been doing wonderfully well with our kids in the United Kingdom here. So she's going to share a story with us. Maybe we're going to take away one or two things, especially if you want to come to the UK with your child or you're pregnant while moving into the UK. She's going to share her own personal journey with us, and I hope we're able to learn one or two things from it. So Blessing, over to you. So let's meet you.
Okay.
Give us a bit of yourself. Let's meet you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
So hi everybody. So I'm just home with my baby, so definitely she's coming in and out.
Oh, sure, we would love to see her.
Okay, so my name is Blessing. I this year will make it 4 years. I'll be in the UK.
Wow.
I am a mom of one, and I basically here in the UK. So yeah, 9 to 5, and Saturday, Sundays I'm free, and today I'm free. Been very busy. Yeah, today I was actually free, and actually a pleasure and an honor to be here to share my story, because I do understand how it can be, like not being on a journey before, or you've not experienced something, or you could just be unsure of what course to take, what to do and things like this. I just wish I wish that I had something like this,
exactly.
So yeah. It's actually nice to do this for people, and you share your stories and experiences with people, and you hear them say, oh my God, thank you that you did that, and things like that just make the whole a whole difference. So it's actually good what you're doing, what other people are doing now, because there's no better thing than holding one's hand and taking them through a journey.
And thank you so much for agreeing to do this. You don't know how much this means to me. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, so how's the journey like for you? When did it start?
So for me, I think I moved to the UK, I think in November 2018. So that was when I actually moved, because my husband came obviously before myself, but he came to he came as a student, so obviously I came as a dependent. So yeah, that was basically when the whole journey started for me. And from there it's been obviously one phase to another. I haven't schooled at all. My husband's been the one schooling for this whole period of 4 years of being here. But it's been an amazing journey. It's been an eye-opening journey. Sometimes especially when we were back in Nigeria, you look at things and you think, oh my God, it's going to be very easy. It's just for me to just fly to the country and for me, maybe it's the too much movies and you just think, God, once you just land, you can just go into one supermarket and say, I'm looking for a job, and you actually get a job. That was what I had. I remember coming and I was like, oh my God, yes, I'm going to start in retail and things like that. I went to 1, 2 jobs, supermarkets, and they're like, no, you have to give us a CV
for a supermarket job.
So I was like, actually, when I think it was Lidl, there was Lidl I actually went, and they were like, oh, you need to go into our website and you need to click the link, you need to write the exam. And I was like, for a supermarket job, really, how different it is, it's quite easy for you to just say, I'm looking for a job in a supermarket, and you just start. And I actually came with that mentality, and it was from the first 5 jobs I took, and I was like, okay, this is, that's a in, and you're like, okay, there's nothing wrong, or there's something I need to do right. So yeah, so that was basically how the journey started for me. But it's just gone from one phase to the other, because obviously when I came, I was pregnant when I came. So the first few months, obviously, too much because came in November, December was already like Christmas. It was difficult to actually even get my NI. Said okay, January, February, oh, time to give birth. Every March, April, May, like I couldn't even do anything. So obviously, like I stayed for like 6 full months without working.
Wow.
Because it was like pregnancy, it was then giving birth, and it was after giving birth. So yeah, it was just a lot of learning.
So what was the pregnancy experience for you and giving birth? Like, I know I've seen movies where you see them set up all of that in the UK. Was it like that even though you were an immigrant, or you didn't experience all those? You know how their hospital is always fine, they have doctors on standby, compared to giving birth in Nigeria? How was the whole experience for you? Or it was not the same as how maybe I think it would be?
I think it's basically the same way you see in movies. I would
Wow.
Because obviously before I came, like in Nigeria, I was doing my prenatal whatever in Nigeria, came out to transfer. So I think it was so much more better than until the morning, obviously, when I had to like go in to give birth, and it was like there was no doctor. So when you're going in to give birth, there usually is no doctor at first. You don't doctors first. The first people you see are midwives. In my case, it was a student midwife I saw first. Yeah, because what they usually do is, because they know that you're contracting, do you get? So what they do is they send in like the student midwives, basically just to like check you, and those ones will be the ones checking you and asking you, okay, has been or has the contract. So they'll be the ones actually checking. So while they're checking, for every time they go back and they report to the midwife and the ones in charge. So you may not necessarily see those ones yet. So it was so as they keep checking, so it's maybe they see, oh, you've dilated 1 centimeter, you've dilated 2 centimeters. So I think it was like from the fifth centimeter, that's when I saw like the midwife that was supposed to be in charge of, me giving birth, my ward and stuff like. So she came and she was like, oh, she also checked her own and said, okay, fine, everything is fine, and she went. So when they moved me from like the general place where I was like with other people and moved me to like a single ward, like a single room where I was going to give, that was where you now see I saw all of them. So the midwife, the matron, this, that. So all of them were there putting things together, while the same student midwife was still kept checking, was also there. She was the one basically like that in charge of me, if I would say that. So when I dilated like 10 centimeters, and she let the midwives and the matrons and all of them know. So what they did was, okay, they now came around and they were like, okay, fine, it's actually time push, and it was full. So I don't remember seeing any doctor really.
Wow.
I don't know how, maybe some other people might have. So I think the experience might be different, but for me, I didn't see any doctor. I only had midwives and like matrons and nurses, in my room. I didn't have any doctor.
Wow. Back home, I used to think midwife are like house, like those one you just meet inside your house. Please give birth for me, like no actual doctors.
Like, that's the difference. When you hear midwives in Nigeria, you actually think, oh,
yes,
the local
midwife. Exactly.
Like if it's midwives are definitely, they're the ones in charge of giving birth. No, you're not going to see any doctor. You're not going to see any nurse. Except maybe there's an emergency, or maybe all through your pregnancy journey, maybe you've been identified as a risk kind of pregnancy. So obviously that's when you'd have like the specialists, like the nurses and the doctors on your case, just so that they ensure that you actually put to bed easily. But if it's for like a normal delivery, like it's usually just in the hands of the midwives. Yeah, so that's how it worked.
Okay, so to the next question. Okay, you already shared with us that you were not working. This period of you not working at the beginning, how did it feel like for you? How were you able to cope?
Oh my God, it wasn't easy. And I feel like this is one thing I need to let people know. Me not working was not even like my choice, because I was working in Nigeria even with my pregnancy. Like if anyone understands, be in Nigeria, like I was working in First Bank, so we know how the bank life, how crazy it is, like, and you have to wake up like as early as 4 a.m. So I was doing all that with my pregnancy. So like I think when I was 6 months pregnant, kind of. So I worked from obviously my first month to my 6th month. So it wasn't like I was just sitting at home. So coming here, there was never a time where I said, "Oh, I'm not going to work," or or like I'm just gonna like obviously, we all do like the normal like we all have the idea of to stay 3 months after. You've made a mess. Okay. You want to say hi to people.
Give it the accent at least.
So for me, it was like I didn't want to work. So obviously, when I came and I tried to do the, I didn't also know that being pregnant, they were not going to give you NI. I don't know if there's anyone that's experienced this, but when I went in, because now it's actually different. Because I think now what you do is you can actually ring the. They'll get everything online, but it wasn't like that. You have to go into the office. They have to see you. So when first time I went for my NI and they actually saw me and they saw that I was pregnant, they didn't give me the NI number, because in their head they didn't expect that I was supposed to be working. Because for those people, if you're in the UK, you don't work, at least like maternity usually starts, depends on you and depends on what you want. Maternity starts, you can start your maternity from 7 months or 8 months, and you have a full year maternity leave.
Full year?
Yes, a full year maternity leave, depending
like
on
1 year.
Yes,
a whole year.
So, but depending on how a company, do you understand? So some people, so if you're just starting out in a company and you've worked maybe 6 months to 1 year, you're entitled to 6 months to 1 year full maternity leave. So obviously, when they saw me when I went in to get my NI, they didn't, being pregnant, and their mind, they're like, but tell me that, the reason why we're not going to give you an NI number. They just said, no, we can't give you a time, try again. So basically, that was how I missed. So because I didn't get my at that time, obviously I couldn't work. So it just happened that everything, by the time, because I came in November, did everything, booked my events, went for my NI by January, I didn't get it. By February, I was going to give birth, so there was no way I was going to work because 9 months. So obviously I was just home. So it was actually really difficult, kind of, for me, because coming from a place where I've worked a long
time, you're used to it,
and I'm already used to it, coming, and it wasn't as I expected. But so many times I was like, oh my god, like what am I doing with myself? But then of the day, there's nothing you can do, as far as that it's not your fault. There's nothing you can do. And what do you want? There's nothing you can do. So then also, I always, sometimes it may not go as you planned, and don't expect that. I know, yes, you should have faith, have the God factor. But then when you're moving from across, it's just like you're moving across the world from where you've known to a new place. It may not necessarily be as easy as you think it would be. We all have things in our head and we expect it should actually go this way. But sometimes it may not go the way you want it to be. So it's just you being able to allow things to actually play out the way they are supposed to play out. Even no matter how long it takes you, give yourself time to understand the system, especially when you move here. You would get a lot of advice and people are like, oh, do this and do that and blah blah blah, and sometimes you may even feel like, oh my god, what am I doing here? Am I actually in the right place? But give yourself time to understand your new environment. Give yourself time to grow. Rome was not built in a day. I know that's a very random idiom, but these are things that we've heard. But then it's actually being able to be all through, and I just thank God for how that journey went. I was actually able to, after much complaining and feeling bad with myself, but then I was actually able to understand things better, because leading to the time when after I gave birth and had the opportunity to also stay at home with my baby, but then I started working again. It just made me appreciate. It made me appreciate, motherhood in this country more, because a lot of people don't have the resources. They don't even have the opportunity to stay at home and not do anything, because you need to work, you need to pay bills, you need to do a lot of things. And I actually appreciated that when I started working and staying out of the house more, because obviously bills. I appreciate the fact that, oh my God, I actually stayed at home earlier, like when she was born. Like I was able to be there for her and give her undivided attention, at least for the first few months of her life, before I started going out to hustle. Because definitely you would need to hustle, you need to pay bills, you need to do a lot of things. So it made me actually appreciate. Sometimes in retrospect, some things will happen, you may not like it, but then when you look, you're like, okay, wow,
it was worth it.
It was worth it actually. So whatever stage of the journey you are, especially in this country, because it can be difficult, not easy. Whatever phase you are, just give yourself time. Give yourself time to understand things. Give yourself time to make out your own way, really, the way that suits you, not the way other people do it, but your own way, that you'll be able to balance a lot of things, balance yourself, balance your family, balance and balance your career. Because I have like a lot of things, just for the fact that childcare and my husband being in school. So I had to like put a lot of things that I loved, by the side, just so that, okay, you gotta do things one at a time. But at least, where I am now, like, especially like with working and, with time and getting down, stronger, I actually look back and I'm like, those sacrifices were worth it. And so it will definitely be worth it. So yeah, so that's just basically
Thank you very much. So can you shed more light on childcare for us, for those of us that know what childcare is in the UK? Because I've heard a lot of stories. They'll tell you, hey, childcare, the money for childcare, this, childcare that. So can you just let us know what childcare is?
To be honest, childcare is not child's play. Serious.
Wow.
It's not child's play, because a lot of times, like, majority of people in the country are working just so that they can pay for childcare. One thing, that's like what I was saying, when I was saying that, where I am now makes me appreciate, where I was previously. When it comes to childcare, this is something that you cannot do, especially like if you have a partner. You and your partner really need to work like hand and work together to make sure that whatever you guys are doing is going to favor both of you in the long run, especially with child, especially once there's a child involved. It's actually good, to plan giving birth.
Childcare.
You need to know what, okay, where I am now, like, what can I afford at this time? What can I afford? Can I afford, to get nappy, diapers, wipes? As random as these things sound, they are actually money, because you will go through, you will see, diaper, a pack of diaper, they'll tell you 60 or whatever inside. I promise you that you can't even use that diaper. So obviously 60, maybe you may say, okay, even if I'm taking it twice, 2 times or 3 times a day, it's past so. I tell you, like, you can even finish one diaper within 2 weeks or 1 week. Is that bad? So like, these are things you really need to like plan them. So the most challenging thing when it comes to like childcare is the fact that you want to be able to keep your children either in nursery or find someone that can take care of them while you and your partner can work. If you're doing a job that that can cover for that, maybe you as a partner, you're earning really well, that can cover your bills, and one person can stay at home, kudos to you. If you're doing a job where, okay, you cannot really, especially maybe for students, those of us that are coming with family as dependent, you may necessarily need you and your partner to be working. So in terms like this, I always tell people, most people, whenever they come here, and I'm always like, see, the best thing you can always do starting out first is to find a job. You don't need to do the job for a long, just find a job that at first can be as flexible for you and your partner. So when you're finding a job that is flexible, you're not doing it because you're doing it based on so that you guys can be able to create your own career and find out what both of you, in a way that maybe if one person is going to work, the other person is at home, or both of you, even if you decide that okay, you both want to go in out at the same time, you can actually the times when you be at home, that will be the times where your daughter too or your baby will be at home, and the days when you guys are not at home, they will be in nursery, or you get somebody in. So it's things like that. Those are things you need to actually factor in. So with nursery, putting nursery is quite expensive depending on the nursery in your area, especially the private ones, and some of them, I think the least I've seen for the private one per day is like £50 per day. Yeah, that's the least, like for the private one. So now, one thing I realized, there was one of my friends, there's a friend of mine, BC, she was actually, it was that I found out that some councils actually have nurseries like that. They have nurseries that they create, like, but those nurseries are not usually so much, they're not like, let me say, government nurseries, something like that. So they're not really so much in a particular, they can just be one or three, or they are cheap. They are cheaper than the normal private day ones. So the private days ones, the private day ones are like £50. That's the cheapest. Yeah, the cheapest thing is like £50 per day. The only good thing about those ones, or the good thing about the nursery thing, is the fact that you can actually do half days or you can do full days. So if you want to do half, that's like £25, and that's either you're doing morning, that's like 7 till 12:30, or you're doing afternoon 12:30 till 6. So that's why I said, if you and your partner are looking,
so that means in a month you can spend like 1.5 on nursery.
Yeah, a lot of people do it. The people that do full day nursery, that you and your partner are going to work, you definitely have your child in nursery. So that's why a lot of people pay £50 per day times 30. That's what they pay. So that's another way. Another cheap way, that I also tell people to consider is try to bring somebody. Bring either your mom, your mother-in-law, your father-in-law, anybody that is free and that can travel, so that they can actually stay, in with you and with your family within a period. So obviously, whoever stay within 6 months, and after 6 months they go back. But at least even if they stay 6 months, it gives you enough time. That there's somebody, that's if you don't want to put your children in nursery because it might be expensive. But them being gives you, at least you have a full 6 months to walk back to back, and to be able to raise enough money, or not even enough money, but at least raise something that even when you go and sustain yourself, even if it's 1 month, 2 months, get someone that can just be around as a nanny until you're able to renew their visa, that one for them. So these are the things, like I always tell people.
So it's really worth it to bring somebody all the way from Nigeria as your nanny.
No, it is really, because if you check, I know, like, obviously you have to have, there will be some requirements, but you check it in the long run, it's actually cheaper, especially for maybe the first year where your child is still maybe 1 year, 2 years. If you don't have the money to put them in nursery, I think that's another cheap option. Just bring somebody, bring your mom, bring your mother-in-law, whoever is available. Just bring them, let them stay with you for 6 months, because you're not going to be paying the other.
Of course,
you might be giving them something monthly, but they're eating from the house, they're doing everything from the house. You don't need to, because some nannies, I don't know if you've heard of, people that they call au pair. No. These people, obviously, just the same way, like you pay, not the same way you pay, yeah. And they work within hours in your house, so you can get somebody that would even, they'll be living in your house, but they'll tell you that their hours of working are between 9 to 5 or 9 to 9 in your house.
Wow.
So even if you've woken up, your family have woken up, maybe let's say 6 a.m., 7 a.m. If it's not 9 o'clock, those people will not leave their rooms away.
Are you serious?
Yes.
This one is with Fargo, and they're in your house.
And and 5 p.m. depending on when they close. Once it's 5 p.m. or if it's 5 p.m. or if it's 6 p.m., they've told you goodbye. They've kept your children with you. If they don't, 6 o'clock, they've entered their room and that is it till the next day, 9 a.m. Do you understand? So, so when you check it sometimes, you look
time is money, really. They don't want to.
Exactly. So in this country, time is money. So it just depends on, what you can, do to make things easier for you. And also, if you have family around, that is actually another way to make things easy for you. You guys can be sharing responsibility. In this country, I tell people, a lot of my friends, when I say, they always laugh. But I tell people, see, this country, we're here to encourage each other, and to help each other. That's just why I know, because you cannot do it alone. The way in Nigeria where you may not even see your cousins for years and nobody cares. You may not see your aunties and everybody's. It's not like that in this country. Like, because you definitely need family. You need people around you. You definitely need people around you. So if you're that kind of person that is always like, oh my God, me, myself, and I, me and my this one, you will suffer. You will see, you will suffer, and you just at the end of the day, you just be like, who brought me here? Seriously. But those are I feel like those are things. Either you want to put them in nursery, like you're as flexible as possible. And another thing some nurseries do is depending on the nursery you choose, they can ask you like months ahead to give them your timetable of when you be free to let your children come in. So say you're somebody that does that works like 3 times a week, 4 times, so if you're working maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you can decide, since I'm working Wednesday, this time my child can go into nursery Monday, Wednesday, Friday, the days I'm working. Then the other day working, the other days you're not working, you stay at home to take care of them. So it's just basically being as flexible as possible. The first few periods, you move here, or the period you decide that you want to bring you want your child to start, or depending on which one you want to go for, or you bring somebody here from Nigeria house for 7, at least for a period of 6 months, which I feel like is as well as possible. Then also, if you want to do the nanny thing, you have to be able to like count the cost and decide, okay, what am I going to do? If I bring these people to my house, can I afford, for them to work on their own terms, on their own hours? Like they would also tell you, some of them will tell you, oh, I don't cook, I don't do dishes, I don't, oh my God, they will give you their own reasons or things that you don't do. So when it comes to childbirth in this country, you have to really, really, really plan. And that's why you see a lot of people, they don't, a lot of people give up a lot of things for their children when they give birth. And before, usually sometimes I'll be like, why? Sometimes people be like, oh, you're giving up, you're doing this one. But you never really understand it until you now finally become a mom and you see that giving these things up will be very easy. Like sometimes when people say, hey, I beg, I cannot even give up this, that, or when you get to that point and
you would know.
Like, wow. I don't have anybody. Nobody even tell you. Be like, do you know what? I'm not even going to work again. Let me just
concentrate on this one.
So it's just being able to count the cost. And I tell people, when it comes to like things like this, choosing the best kind of childcare, ask questions. Like, I don't even know the word to use. Don't just go with just one thing, and it's this country has made me realize that there are so many options, different things. Don't just decide, don't just see something now and say, oh, this is what it is. Ask questions, meet people, go to your council, go to your city center, go to your community center. There's a reason why these things are there for you. Go there, ask questions. Oh, how can I do this? Are there nurseries near me? Or whatever. Or even a lot of councils here, they have sites, they have websites, they have everything. Subscribe to their whatever and be getting
better.
And be getting, don't just, it's not like where we're from where it's like, oh, you know, you don't want don't want this person to know. That's fine. Obviously, in Nigeria, we are there, but immediately you land in this country, you see that character just at the airport. At the airport, because in this country you need to ask questions. You really need to ask questions, because if you don't ask questions, nobody's going to come and tell you anything. You know, these are not things that you would just easily stumble on and say, oh, I found this out. No, you can't, because you really need to ask. You need to know what people are, especially people that have been here for a while. You need to know what they are doing, you know, compare it with
don't make their mistakes. Yeah,
exactly. So you know, so you don't make mistakes, because a lot of mistakes that if you make mistakes here, they are usually like very costly mistakes that it will take you a long time to get.
Yeah.
So it's always just best to try as much. I mean, obviously we cannot get it right 100%, but as much as possible. So yeah.
Wow, thank you so much, Blessing. This is so insightful. Like, things that I'm already planning when I start making babies and I'm married. All these things I have to take note of. Like, it would be nice to even be able to bring your mom in. Why not? I let her also enjoy their abroad feel and all of that. It's really nice, because that money, 1.5 per month, on top small. And I also like to ask, how long does it take before this nursery wahala stops? How old do your child have to be?
So, you know, for the UK, school officially starts for children at 4.
I started school at 1. Why would they want me to start school at 4?
I don't know. That's just their whatever. That's just their school officially starts at 4. So for some children, they start at 3. So that would actually depend on your bed.
The year you're born.
Not even the year, the month you were born.
Oh.
So, like my daughter, she was born in February, so she can start by September. She can start going into preschool and things like that. But any child that's born after, I think it's April. After April, you have to wait till next year. So a child that was born, let's say
that's when I want to born again.
That's why in this country everything is planning. So for children that are going to be here, anyone that's born after April, they would have to start next year September to go to school. They cannot go to school this September with like children like my baby. So that's just the thing. So if you're going to do childcare, you know, to put your children in nursery, obviously you're going to do it from. It depends on when you want to start. Some people start at 1, some start at 2. But depending on your child's birthday month, you will either do it till they are 3 or till they are 4.
Wow.
So that's just the way it is.
Wow, we have to plan. Okay, guys, time for questions. Do you have any questions for Blessing? And also, thank you all for joining.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We appreciate. Life Career UK, thank you. You were mentioning August 31st. Do you want to clarify that up in the comment section, if you don't mind? Then someone wants to, Rhoda, please ask your question. Trying to see the questions. Yes, Citizens Bureau, Advice Bureau is a very nice place to go for information as well. Okay, someone said very trans. Okay, that was when you're referring to the nannies.
Okay.
Let me see. Questions. Oh my God, somebody said the nannies you were referring to, that they can even tell you that you paid for one child and they not attend to the other children. Wow.
Yes.
You can't even beg them that please, yummy, call me.
It's not, you know, in Nigeria, you can, that's the thing.
Yes, now you can always say please do some things and beg them and you treat them.
You know, even in Nigeria, you don't even need to beg. Do you understand? You're bringing them to your house. They would, you know.
And giving them shelter. What more?
Exactly. But that's the different, you know, thing. So that's why I'll just tell people, please, if you know you don't want to do nursery, maybe you're not fully ready. To me, the best option is bring somebody here. Let them come and stay with you. When they come the first time, obviously they will come on a 6 months visa. When they come, stay and go. If you do their visa and the next, you can do the 2 years one. So they have their 2 years. You know that at least for the next, within next 2 years, they will at least come 4 times. So they come the first month, go back, come again, go back, come again. So
I'm happy. You better be ready to leave your husband and come and be with me.
So I'm telling you, so you've covered a lot of while you're saving money for nursery and channeling it into other things. Because seriously, if you want to use nanny and au pairs and all those people, you spend a lot of money, and it's crazy, seriously.
1.5 a month for a small child. That's 15,000 a year. That's almost what I'm paying for masters to be paying for nursery. Exactly, now that's master's tuition fee.
Oh my God.
Yes, this UK are money. Okay, someone is saying, can you bring your mom on a tier 4 visa? Yes, you just apply for visitors visa for her. And someone said, but they said dependents can only be your spouse or children. How do I bring my mom? Your mom will not be coming as your dependent. She's going to be coming as a visitor in the United Kingdom. But you can invite her because already you're here. People invite their parents for graduations and all of that. So you can. Any other questions? We're here for you. Any other question? Ask your question now. Oh, somebody said my daughter was born 30th December 2019. When is she starting school or preschool? When do you think the person will start preschool?
So that'll be, I think it's next year.
Next year.
Yeah. That'll be, so what you would do is you'd have to register her like by the end of this year. I think they usually start registration by October, November. So what you need to do is maybe start looking around schools in your area, or check where you stay, check the council of the area you stay, go to their website. They have what's it called? They have drop down on their website of where they talk about school admissions and things like that. So start looking at that, because obviously they've started giving children, like those that, like I said, those that were born like January, March, April of this year, they started giving them school. And so they cannot give any other person now except those that applied late. So for you, that your child was born in December 2019, it will be next year. So you need to make the application by October or November of this year, 2022.
So you can't just wake up and take your child to the gate of the school.
No, you can't. No. And the thing with that, the thing is, obviously, by the time it's time for you to apply, they're going to ask you for what's it called? They're going to ask you for 3 options of schools, that you want your child to likely. So when you put those applications, they would, at the end of the day, it depends on school placement and depends on if there's space in the school. Yes, so they're not your choice. They may not give you your first choice, they may not give you your second choice. It depends on so many other factors. But the main thing is just go to your council website. It's say, like me, I'm under Salford Council. Every information I need for school admission, I just type it on Google, Salford Council website.org.uk, blah blah blah, and it comes out, and I just go directly to the school admissions drop down, and I see everything about school admissions. So yes, that's the best place you'll be able to get any information. But for your child, I'm definitely sure is next year that they'll be going into school, so you would be able to apply for school placements by the end of this year. So just make sure that you're aware of
it. Yes. Somebody said my baby will be 3 by 3rd May. Do you mean she can start school this September? Is that possible? Would that not be next year?
No, that will be next year. That'll be next year.
Wow. Okay, someone said after August 31st, they will join when they are 5. So that means if you miss, you can't come in between that year. You have to wait a whole year again. What?
Yeah, so it's either you wait, so usually it's September or January, so depending on the school. Some schools usually have space by January, so they can say, okay, come. But if there's no space, you have to wait till.
Okay, someone said, when would one start paying NHS fee for a baby? That's true. When will you pay NHS fee for a child? Because I remember that we pay. So is it free for children born in the UK?
IHS or something.
Yes, like that national health surcharge that we pay.
Okay, so that would be if you put your children under any, like when you, let's say when you were coming from Nigeria and you put your children as they're coming with you as dependents, you'll be paying now, or don't?
No, like if you give birth to them here, they'll still have to be your dependent. Yes, that's true. You're right. So that means you still pay for them. Yes.
But
You will.
no, but your child was born here. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure about that. I don't think you would need to pay that. If
you're bringing them in, you
but
must have paid for them.
From Nigeria, definitely, yeah.
Okay.
But if they were born here, I doubt you pay that.
Somebody says just like somebody is working for childcare when you're paying 1.5.
Maybe is what I said when I started the talk about that. I was like, what? See, as far except you don't want to do, maybe you don't want to do that, you don't want to go that route. But if you want to go the route of the nursery, whatever, just know that whatever you're working for is going for childcare.
Okay, another very interesting question. What's the difference between a child minder and a nanny? Is there a difference?
Yes. So for child minders, you have to, they have, so you, the majority of the ones I've seen are the ones that, you know, they take care of children in their own houses. So childminders, like maybe they could use their parlor as, you know, the way in Nigeria where we have crèche, something like that. So they can use their parlor and as crèches and things. So that's
okay,
what,
like your home. Okay.
Yes,
their home.
Yes, you go there and you take your children morning, you drop them and you pick them in the evening. The thing with childminders is that they're cheaper than nursery. Yeah, they're actually cheaper than nursery because I think some people do like £5 per hour, things like that. So depending on how long you want to keep your children for. So, but childminders, they're usually very few. So that's just usually the thing. I don't even know any childminder around me, like around my area. But I know like of people that are childminders. So they're usually very
because they'll need to get license, right? Not like any.
Yeah. So you cannot just
can't just say you open nanny one day and
you have to go. They actually do short courses, you know, to become a childminder. You have to like write the exam. Then after that,
no rule to the outside the UK.
So depending on where, if you say, okay, I want to do my stuff in the house. So obviously, even as a childminder, you still have to be approved by the government. So there's this Ofsted rating. You still have to have like an Ofsted rating. So what they're going to do is, after you said, oh, you've done the course, you've done everything, when you go to register, they would have to book a day when they will come to your house and inspect that the place that you're using for childminding is safe.
Yeah.
So they would have to actually mark you good and say, okay, this place is actually good before you decide that you want to get children in. So childminder is another good. It's under because it's quite cheaper than nursery. But childminders, you have to take your children there just like nursery. But with nannies, usually they
come to you.
Nannies are the ones that come to your house. So it's that you day ones, or you do the ones that stay continuously, maybe for a period of 1 month, or depending on how long you guys signed. So they just come into your house, do what you want them to do what you paid them for, and some of them you can say, okay, leave in the evening, go back in the morning, while some you can allow them sleep. So that's the difference.
Someone is saying, can you get a babysitter? Babysitter and nanny, is it not the same thing?
The same thing now.
The same thing. It's just a matter of semantics. It's the same thing.
So it depends on what you want. If it's the kind of babysitter you just want to come maybe between morning and afternoon, fine. If it's the one you want to come and sleep and so it depends on what you want really, but they're the same.
Someone said, how soon can I invite my mother-in-law for visiting? As soon as you want now. If you have
as you want to apply for, it's not difficult. The main thing is to have money, invite them. Make sure that at least you have an address in the UK. Just the basic way you apply for visa now. Make sure that you submit, you have what's called statements, bank statements that that they can, when they take to the embassy can approve that, oh, this person is in the UK and things like that. So obviously maybe get a job, when you move, find a place, get a job, then start your application.
Someone said, can my elder sister come in place of my mother?
Yeah, you can.
Anybody, I think.
Okay, let me make it straight there. It's actually anybody can come. Do you get? Like I just said, mother and mother-in-law, just for you to understand what I mean. But if you're inviting anybody to the UK, you can invite anybody to the UK. You can even invite your auntie. The major thing that the embassy wants to see is where are they coming to. So that is where verification of your documents come in. You know, you have to have any. So, you know, whoever you're going to use, if you're going to use an agent or whatever, so they'll tell you the documents you need basically for them to verify where this person is going to. That's you can invite anybody.
Okay, someone is saying, when is the acceptable pregnancy period for a pregnant woman to fly? Can you fly anytime? I don't know.
I don't really know. It would depend on the
airline, I guess.
Airline, so yeah. It would depend.
I think that is pretty much all. Someone is misleading us here. Connecting Edu said your mom is a dependent as far as the surname tally. I don't think so. Your mom cannot be your dependent. They are just coming as a visitor into the UK. Whether it's the same surname or not, your mom is not your dependent. Your dependent has to be your partner, your spouse, or your children, not your mom, auntie, niece, nephew. They are coming in as a visitor. The visa you're applying for would be visitor's visa, not dependent visa. They won't grant it though. Okay, I think we've pretty much covered. Okay, is there anything else you want to say?
They won't grant any dependent visa where it's your mom or anything. You know, just if you're bringing anybody here, they're coming on that visa. So well, I'll just say that for anyone that's still on this journey, like, just keep pushing, just keep trying, try as much as possible to get the right people around you, because sometimes when you come here, not even sometimes, when you're here, it can be really lonely, and that you could meet the wrong people that can be misleading. So whatever you do, as far as you're putting God first, just make sure that the next thing is that you have the right people around you, people that can actually show you the way, because and it actually happens a lot here. A lot of people usually don't like to share things, they don't usually things. So just make sure that you get the right people that are able to share their experience with you and tell you the right thing, like the right thing. And don't just go with anything. Like I said before, don't just go with anything. Try to verify everything. And in this country was when I realized that Google is your friend. When you your friend and you're like, there's nothing I don't search on Google. Like if I hear it, I'm definitely going to search on Google, see if has anybody done it before. Is there anything, does it flag up anywhere, somewhere that this thing is a thing? So whatever information you get, as much as you're asking people, don't forget that you're in a country where internet is free. So exactly, use your Google, search and yeah, basically that's just everything I would just like to say.
Oma, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough. Thank you for agreeing to do this. Thank you for sharing your experience with us, your story, your knowledge. Thank you so much. I'm just going to take 2 last questions and we round it up. Someone keep asking, as the students, can I invite my mother? Yes, you can. We've said it over and over again. You can, but they'll be coming in as a visitor. Though you invited them, but they are coming in to visit, not your dependent. And so how can I invite them? By applying for visa, Abby. That's the best way. You apply for visitors visa. That is how you can invite them. I think we've covered everything. Is just like a repetition of what we've covered. So when I repost the video, please try and watch it, because most of these questions, if we keep repeating, we will not leave here today.
Guys, also gov.uk has every information you may need, especially in applying for visa. A lot of things, like Yeti might not be able to tell everything, there's some things, especially with this visa application, everything is on gov.uk website. If you go there, you search for it, how to apply visitors visa, how to apply whatever kind of visa, then you can go through everything one by one, or preferably, like I always say, that's why we have agents, that's why we have,
you don't want to stress yourself,
so go through and basically you be able to get everything sorted.
Thank you. Last, like the final last. Selvity, easy. You said answer my question. Please, what's your question? You have 1 minute to tell us your question, because I can't see it. I think it's lost. Okay, I think I'm working remotely from Nigeria, but I don't but I do not take up any job in the UK, would I still be bound by the 20 hours weekly work permit? That's a different thing from this topic. Don't worry, chat me up privately, we'll discuss it. Okay, thank you so much, Oma. Thank you so much. And thank you to our beautiful daughter for joining in the live and for featuring. We love you so much. Thank you. And to everyone who tuned in, thank you very much. We have come. It is almost an hour. You people don't want us to. I know it was a very interesting time. I know it was going to last like 30 minutes as well. And we've been here for 1 hour. Please, guys, help me follow Oma B and thank her for me as well. It's been an amazing session, and I'm prepared. Like when the time comes, I know what to do, and I didn't even know that it's even better for you to bring in your parents. Why not? She shared so many insightful things, talked about childminder, nanny, babysitter. In fact, Google cannot even give you all this information spot on. She's like our own Google. So thank you so much, Oma. We really appreciate it. And I hope next time when we call you, you'll always be here for us. Thank you so much. And to everyone who joined, I really, really appreciate it as well. Thank you guys so much. Like Career UK, thank you so much. You stayed from the beginning to the end. Cheesy, thank you so much. Kemi, thank you. Everyone, I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you all so much. So till I come your way next time, I remain your one and only baby girl, Yeti. Bye. Bye. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe.